Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Hi everyone, Demi here. I know I said Demi, I usually say ED, but I thought I would be myself today because this is not a reaction video. This is just gonna be kind of, no, that was Pierre, a chatty video. For those of you that ask me or are wondering, I am ED in my YouTube videos is literally Demi spelled backwards. The reason I go by that instead of Demi is because I like to think of I have a different kind of personality that I like to be creative with, and I like to show different sides of me, so that I am ED is my shadow self kind of that does those reaction videos and is more funny and silly. It is New Year's Eve as I'm filming this. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I just want to start off by saying, holy shit. I know it's been a roller coaster, but I want to share what's on my heart because I feel like, for those of you who don't know, I have been practicing Buddhism since I was I was born into a Buddhist practice. My mom started practicing Nichiren Buddhism since I was a baby, so I started going to Buddhist meetings with her when I was a little kid. So I started practicing Buddhism, the philosophy of Buddhism, since I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. So I kind of have, in a lot of ways, dedicated my life and the way I live my life to understanding happiness and what it means to be happy and what it takes to be happy. And I feel like I've learned so much over the years, and I've gotten to a point where I truly can say that I feel happy inside, and I know what it takes to be happy, and I know how to create that for myself. Because, some days I wake up and I'm not in a good mood, and sometimes I wake up and I'm hormonal, and sometimes I'm in a good mood, and then at the end of the day I'm I feel gross, or I just don't feel as great. And so every day I really dedicate an aspect of the day to being happy, because my philosophy is if you are not enjoying this life, if you do not enjoy being here, everyone has a right to be happy and to feel happy, genuine, true, real happiness. And if someone is not enjoying their life, I just believe that it's so important to get into a practice of why that is, and understanding that kind of thing. And give me a second, my cat is destroying my house, so give me a sec. Stop it! Every time I do a video, he freaks out. It's he senses some energy or something. Da, 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 da. Pierre's gonna be famous one day. Woo! Okay. But yeah, my philosophy about life is if you are not happy, and that's not to say something's wrong with you if you're not happy, but it's every day alive, every day that I take a breath, every day that I exist, every second of every day that I'm here is a blessing. And I know it's hard to see life as a blessing sometimes when you're going through something really challenging, or you've experienced heartbreak or loss or death in the family or sickness or illness or depression or anything like that. I understand that. But at the same time, it's what I've learned, especially since being as a little kid and studying that Buddhism philosophy, is every day you create your reality with your thoughts. Every single day you are creating your own reality. And if you are a negative person, it's because you're creating that for yourself. And that's not to blame you, and that's not to say something is wrong with you, but my point is that just as easily as you can create a negative life, you can create a happy life. You can create a life that you love. And yes, it takes a little bit of work. It takes getting to know yourself and getting to know the subconscious beliefs that block you or limit you from getting it as what you want. And it takes really having to be honest with yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and being okay, I need to change this, and I need to work on this. And that's a really hard thing to do because it's much easier to live in denial and just not feel what it is that we're feeling inside. And so what I've really been trying to work on this whole year is every single day creating happiness from within myself, and like solely from within myself. Because I think it's really easy sometimes to base our happiness on like these outside things, and I've definitely done this in the past where I'm like, oh, like if that guy just, you know, started dating me, if he liked me back, you know, if he wanted to be in a relationship with me, or if he had the same feelings that I did, then I'd be happy. Or, oh, if I just made this amount of disposable income and I made this amount of money every single month, oh, I would be so much happier than I am now. Or, oh, if this person, it wasn't so annoying, then I'd be happy. Like, it's always like someone else's fault, right? It's always like, you know, like it's not me, it's them kind of thing. And I think it's really easy to get into like a kind of victim mentality where it's always someone else's fault, and if they change, then I will be happy kind of thing. But I think it's so important to realize that you can be happy now, and you can get to a place where you feel so good inside that these outside things just don't affect you. And also, like, when you get to a place where you feel so happy inside, you stop kind of attracting those kinds of people, and you kind of break those bad habits, and those people just kind of like disappear from your life. Or maybe you have a habit of attracting people who need you. You need people who like energy vampire off of you. You always attract people who take from you because you have this like obligation inside to be needed kind of thing. So I think it's so important to really just get to know yourself. And like, I think everyone has that one thing that they kind of wonder, like, why does this keep happening to me? Or like maybe it's gone away, but they wonder like, why have I in the past always attracted the same guy or girl? Or why do I always like end up in the same situation with a friend? Or why do I always like end up, you know, this happening, something really good happens, and then something bad happens right after that? Or there's like, you know what I mean? It's like there's always that one thing I think people ask themselves, like, why does this always happen? And so I'm going on a tangent here, but one of the biggest things that I have really been working on this year, and I think if there's one thing that I could share for the rest of my life and only talk about this one thing, this would be it, honestly. And what this is something that my meditation teacher, her name's Marissa Morris, she's here in San Diego, something that she brought up in class one time. And she said, what you give attention to, you love. And this was kind of hard for me to understand at first, because I was like, well, wait a minute, like, I give tons of attention to stuff that, like, I don't like at all. But that was the point. You know, if you really think about it, like, what you give attention to, you love. And when I say love, I don't mean like lovey-dovey love, like, oh, I love you kind of thing. Like, when I say love, I mean what you give attention to, like, that the attention is the love. So what you pay attention to, you love. And so the whole point is to ask yourself, like, why am I giving attention to these things in my life? Like for an example, like if you're someone who watches the news every single day, knowing that it just makes you angry and you don't feel good about yourself after, and you feel helpless about the state of the world after watching the news, but you continue to give your attention to it, it's because you love it. If you hate your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend and you constantly bag on them and complain about them and bring them up in conversation because you haven't forgiven them, it's because you love them. You're giving your attention to that. Or if you really like drama and you gossip a lot, which, no like judgment, like I totally get it. Like, I used to really love reality TV and I loved like drama kind of shows. I think to an extent everyone kind of likes drama, especially when you feel bored. But it's like if you're gossiping or giving attention to like talking about someone else, it's because there's an aspect of you that loves them. And it's like you can't you can't hate something without having loved it first. Like, you can't, it's not possible to hate your ex unless you loved them. Like, if you didn't love them, then you just wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother you. But you hate them because you love them. You can't hate, you know, something without loving it. And so that, like, really got me thinking a lot this year. And so this year I made, like, some pretty, not, like, really drastic changes, but I definitely had to take a good look in the mirror and, like, make some kind of hard decisions that were maybe a bit scary for me, or I was just, like, holding on to a lot of stuff, and I was holding on to certain people that I just knew in my heart I had to let go if I wanted to find clarity, and I had to let go of certain situations in order to find peace. And I, like, genuinely, I had to let go of insecurities and subconscious beliefs that just weren't healthy. And what I realized is I was giving a lot of attention to things that were just not, like, really helping me in life. And once I realized, like, that understanding of you give your attention to something because you love it, it totally, like, shifted the perspective for me from, you know, kind of like stuck in this loop. Like, I don't know if you've ever felt like you've been stuck in a loop where it's like Groundhog Day every day, same shit, different day, you know, same person that's annoying you, same person constantly, like, reaching out to you, same situation, same drama, same pattern over and over again, until you finally have to wake up and realize and be like, you created that for yourself. Like, that situation you attracted into your life for a reason, and you have to kind of take ownership of your life and, like, decide for yourself, do I want to be happy, or do I want to remain a victim? And when I say victim, like, I'm not trying to, like, be disrespectful, I'm not trying to, like, be rude when I say that, but, like, genuinely, like, it's a victim mentality to think that your happiness is dependent on someone or something else that's outside of you. And I think, like, now is the time to just, like, really take ownership of your life and take ownership of you and the direction you want to go in, and just let go of stuff and, like, have the courage and have the strength and have the faith in yourself to let go of these things. Like, if you're hanging on to a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you know in your heart you are not in love with, and you know in your heart that it's not working, but you're holding on because it makes you feel safe, like I kind of had the intention that, like, filming this video, I wanted, like, anyone who would be watching it to, like, be for a purpose. Like, if you're watching this and you're hanging on to something and you're in your heart, you know you should let go, like, this could be your sign, like, just let go and have faith that things are working out for you, and have the respect for yourself that if you want better, it's because you deserve better, and you can really create anything that you want for yourself, because you create your life on a daily basis. Like, and it doesn't feel like that all the time, because it's actually a matter of, like, really focusing your attention on something to realize that, like, you're creating that. But, like, you have to really think about it, like, okay, if I'm in this relationship where I'm not happy, it's because I'm creating that. Like, I can leave at any time, but I choose not to. So ask yourself, why? Do I feel safe? Do I feel needed? Is this relationship something my parents want for me? Is this relationship what society wants for me? Is this relationship I'm in because I feel like I'm supposed to be, because I'm, you know, in my 20s or 30s and I should have someone at this point? Or am I at this job because it makes me look cool, or I don't have the courage to quit because then everyone will think that I'm poor, or I have to impress a certain person, and so I'm going to sacrifice my happiness to have this job because it just looks good to everybody else. Like, genuinely, I think now's the time to really ask yourself these questions, because life is passing by every single day and no one really knows, like, and I don't mean this to, like, scare anybody. Like, I'm not saying, like, you could die tomorrow, but, like, honestly, like, no one really knows, like, how long their time is on this planet. And I think it's so important to look at every day as a blessing, because truly it is such a blessing to be here. Like, look at you, like, look at yourself, like, your heart beats and your eyes blink, and like you were created like from a woman, and it's like a miracle to be here if you really think about it. And so I think it's so important to look at life with that kind of joy and like magicalness and wonder, because I mean, why waste even just a second being unhappy? Why waste even a second, resenting someone who cheated on you a year ago? Why? Why not forgive that person? Let it go so that you can be happy, so that you can then attract, the person of your dreams. Why allow, your aunt or your uncle to dictate like what job you should take? Like, why let society, tell you that because you're 25 or older that you should be married at this point with this amount of disposable income, working this job, because you're supposed to do that? Like, why? Like, these rules are all made up. Like, you don't have to follow these rules. And I think if you have genuinely like the courage, I don't mean like literally break rules, like literally, but like break the rules of like your own mind, and like break those boundaries within your own mind, because like truly you can create whatever it is that you want. Like, you can create a happy life for yourself. Even if you are miserable right now, even if you hate life, even if you are just like, God, like another year, I don't think I can handle another year. Like, genuinely, like the way that you create the life for yourself now, like you can use that to create something that you enjoy. And it's as simple as, just finding something that makes you happy. And something that I've been doing recently is I listen to music and I dance. And I know that sounds like super nerdy, but meditation is not for everybody. Like, I've been meditating since I was a little kid, but like I don't even think meditation is for everybody. I think there's like I think like what works for you works for you. Like, if meditation doesn't work for you, like put on a song that you love and dance to it. Like, do that, or do some breath work, or do some journaling, or like write a forgiveness letter, or like, start that like business idea. Like, take the first step, make an Instagram page for it. If you've been wanting to get a pet for the past year, like go out and get a pet. Whatever it is that you want to do, I think now's the time. I know I went on a super long tangent, but I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. And you guys, like, if you take away anything from this video, just know that you have the power within you to create anything that you want. And just know that.